Okay, so you've probably heard that Hope Valley is a church that meets in people's houses. And you may be thinking, hang on, aren't churches supposed to meet in a church building? And sure, that is a typical way of going to church that a lot of us are used to. But let's take a minute and think about what church really is. In Matthew chapter 16, Jesus said that he would build his church. Now, he wasn't talking about a building, right? Of course not. He was talking about people. Later, in Acts chapter 2, we're told that when the first churches got together, they actually met in each other's homes. In fact, this was true for the first 300 years of church history. So clearly, while having a church building is nice, the church doesn't need one to meet. Because church isn't just a place where people get together. Church is something that happens when they do. Think about this. When we read the Bible, we can see that from the beginning, God has chosen to do his work and transform the lives of people through relationships. Namely, relationships with him and relationship with others. The Apostle John actually said that God is love. Now think about that for a minute. In a letter to the early churches, John explained that in order for someone to really understand what love is and how it works, they needed to first know God. He even said that people could actually see God when they saw people in the church loving each other. Wow. I think it's safe to say that relationship is a big part of the way that God does things. Okay, so how does having church in a house fit into this? Well, just think about it. As people, where do we spend most of our important relationship time? Yeah, in our homes. It's where we raise our families. It's the place we invite our friends to hang out. And it's the place where we feel the most comfortable just being ourselves. When you think about it, using a home as a place for a church to meet makes a lot of sense. God has created each one of us with unique gifts and talents, and he wants us to use them to help each other grow and mature. And that requires relationships that are honest and close. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a large group of people, it's easier to go unnoticed or even be ignored? But in smaller groups, that's a lot more difficult, isn't it? Everyone has a chance to be seen, and it's hard to go unnoticed. In small groups, like families, everyone has a chance to be heard, find out where they fit in, and do their part. When Jesus said he was building his church, he was talking about building a family. And what better place is there for a family to meet than in a house? Okay, so what does church in a house look like? Well, that's one of the great things about meeting this way. It can look a little different in every home. But what you're always going to see is people of all ages worshiping God together, praying together, and learning from the scriptures together. All while sharing life, laughter, tears, and probably some food too. Is meeting in homes the only way to do church? No. In the same way that all families are a little different, there isn't just one way to be a church. But at Hope Valley, we have found the value and benefit of getting close, hearing from one another, and sharing life together in the places where our life already happens. And that is at home. Find out more about Hope Valley Church and what we're doing by going to hopevalley.church/house.